On this episode of Empower Your Voice, Unlocking Your Podcasting Potential with host Lillian Cauldwell, we are going to discuss what a script is. Everybody uses a script. You use it at school when you write. You may not know that, but every script has a beginning, what we call the introduction. The body with supporting material, quotes, stats, opinions, pictures to support and to give credence and expertise to what you're stating, to your facts. And then the ending, what they call the conclusion. And folks, this is going to follow you all throughout your life. When you write a book, you always have an introduction. The first chapter is when you introduce everybody to your characters, who they are, what their journey is, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, who's the in-between guy, mom, dad, sisters, brothers, friends, relatives, enemies, you name it. You have to put it in the beginning somewhere so people know how to follow you. So even if you start in the middle of the story, which is what they tell you, and I suggest to young writers, is that when you start your story, you start in the middle to leave and to allow people to scratch their heads and to become involved. So what does a typical intro sounds like? Well, go over to Google and put in podcast. Maybe it's history. Maybe it's a talk show. Maybe they're doing interviews. Everybody has their own way of introducing themselves. But I tell people the best way to do it is to tell them who, what, where, when, why, and sometimes how. So who? Good day, good afternoon, good evening. Because when you're on the internet, it can be any time of day. England is 5 hours ahead. Singapore's a day ahead. Australia's a day and a half ahead. You've got to keep those hours separate. California's 3 hours behind. Hawaii and Alaska's on their own timetable. And you have to put in daylight savings times, whether you're an hour ahead or an hour behind. So the script. Hi, my name is Lillian Cauldwell. I'm the host of Lest We Forget Historical. On today's episode, we're discussing ABC 123. Today, our special guest is Dr. Herbert Hoover, and we're going to be talking to him about why he formed the FBI and how important it is for the FBI to do its work without any problems. Or, hi, I'm giving a webinar 2 days, April 2nd at 7 p.m. and April 5th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. As you can see down below on the ticker tape, I provide the links. These are free master classes. Empower your voice, unlocking your podcast potential. There you go. That's your intro. And now, without further ado, let me bring to you. And then I go into the body. This is the body that I'm talking about. I'm talking about how to set up a script. So when you get your information, you're finished with your homework or research material, depending on how you want to look at it, then you're going to write something down in this format because it will organize your thoughts. That's right, organize. A, B, C, D. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how and why you put together a script to keep you on track. Depending on how much time you allow for your presentation, it also keeps you within your time restraints. I've had guests who wander. They start off with the question and somehow they break free of the fence in pasture and away they go. Well, it's your job as a host to rein them back because that is not in your script and you want to go according to what you have set up. Otherwise, you will run out of time. So you take your material and you organize it. What I would call a general outline. A, B, C, then numbers 1, 2, 3, and then small a, B, C, and then the numbers. And you indent it every single time. So here's your introduction. And you're going to say underneath as welcome to the reality show where everything is an illusion. Your host, Mr. Invisible, with co-host Miss You Can't Catch Me If You Try, will be interviewing today how to slip through the fingers of your antagonist. This person is well known, and you can follow their words of wisdom on their Facebook page. This is their website. And then off you go because you've introduced your guest. You had told your potential listening audience what's going to happen next. And despite what you think, people like to know what's going to happen. Why do you think all those soothsayers, fortune tellers, make so much money? Because people are afraid of what they don't know. Well, with a script, you can provide them with that knowledge and give them a foreshadowing of what you're going to cover. A lot of podcast hosts do exactly that. In today's episode, we're talking about ABC. Next week, we're going to continue on this episode and build upon it. And then they go into the middle. If they have direct quotes, they tell them this is a direct quote from Blue, Blue, Blue. And once the program is finished, in their notes, they can provide you where they got that direct quote from. YouTube is very particular about that. And if they feel like you have used copyright material without giving the person or people their due, they will call you on it with a warning. And if you get 2 warnings, you're out of YouTube. So make sure you're careful when you put your script together to make notes to yourself that this is a direct quote from Abraham Lincoln. I found it in Wikipedia on December 3rd, 1892, and whatever. Go from there. So scripts are important. As you can see below, and as I mentioned before previously, I am giving 2 free master classes. One is on April 2nd at 7 o'clock for those who work during the day. The second one is April 5th at 4 p.m. Eastern for those who want to attend an earlier session. They are free. They'll run 45 minutes. Be prepared to take lots of notes. We will discuss the 7 C's of communication, the art of the interview, and mastering your interpersonal skills, what everybody likes to call people skills. So join us. Go over to the website. The links are provided below, and you can copy them if you wish, if it's going too quickly for you. But I know that you will take a lot away just from listening to these daily tips. Thank you very much for joining me today. And tomorrow we will talk about copyright. As long as we hit upon it, you should know and be protected. More and more sites are getting very, very skittish about copyright issues. So that's something that you need to be aware of. And of course, in the course, we go further into all the details. Thank you very much and have a great day.